Welcome everyone, and thanks for joining me for episode 3 of my Manchester United career on Football Manager 2019. In the previous episode, we knocked Arsenal out of the FA Cup 4th round at the Emirates. And since then, I've only played just the 2 games off camera, the first one being the final game of January at Old Trafford against Wolverhampton Wanderers, and it finished 3-0 to Manchester United. It was Juan Mata that opened up proceedings in the 10th minute. Then Romelu Lukaku, our top goal scorer so far this season, made it 2-0 in the 36th. And then Juan Mata went on to get his second and the final goal of the game in the 84th minute to put Wolves to bed. Then up next for us, it was a trip to Selhurst Park against Crystal Palace, who's been struggling recently in the Premier League, and it finished 2-2 here. I was very disappointed that we couldn't get the 3 points. Mata scored, so did Matic, but Eric Bailly got sent off. So those 2 games brings us all up to date, ready for our next game, which is Stamford Bridge against Chelsea. And that game against Crystal Palace was an interesting one, and I will get to that in just a moment. Let me show you the league table then as it currently stands. Yes, we're still top, but by 4 points after that 2-2 draw against Palace. Chelsea, they are 5th. They need to start closing that gap on Liverpool if they want any chance of being in the Champions League next season. And Chelsea, they're a team that need to be in the Champions League. They also need to be very cautious of Manchester City, who had a really poor start to the first half of the season. Now they're really finding their feet. Yes, they're 6th, but their last 5 games they've won, and they're just a point behind Chelsea. So I'm expecting Chelsea to be up for this game at Stamford Bridge today. It's going to be tough. It's going to be difficult without a doubt. And being at Stamford Bridge as well. Let's have a look at their recent results. So they've just recently beaten Watford 3-1 at home. Away against Leicester. It's been up and down for Chelsea throughout the season under new management of Sarri. But looking at this, they did lose to Tottenham away. When they've come up against the big sides, they always seem as though they falter. Liverpool, there's another game that they lost. They then lost to Arsenal in the Premier League, but they did beat them in the EFL Cup. And of course they lost to us at the start of the season at Old Trafford, where it finished 2-0 with Jesse Lingard and Romelu Lukaku getting on the score sheet. So overall, Chelsea's record against the big sides this season in the Premier League, not the best. Could be better, but again, I do expect them to be pulling their finger out for this game. Now, going back to the Crystal Palace game, this was an interesting one. Eric Bailly did get sent off. And after the game, Gary Neville, my assistant manager, said that we had a right to appeal, as it wasn't that bad of a challenge. It was a straight red, so we appealed. And I'm really surprised that the FA Disciplinary Committee have decided to rescind the ban, which means Eric Bailly is available for our next game in the Premier League against Chelsea, which is today's episode. So happy about that, because 9 times out of 10 on previous FMs, if you appeal a red card, the FA Disciplinary Committee will reject and then maybe even add another game or 2 on top of that ban. So it's really uplifting, really, to think that he'll be available for this. Other team news: Chelsea, they're without Eden Hazard and Antonio Rudiger, whereas for Manchester United, we're going to be without Marcus Rashford, who did get injured in that last game against Palace, and also Ander Herrera, who's got a hip injury, which I think he picked up just before the Crystal Palace game. So that's a bit of a blow, but I think the big miss is going to be Rashford. We could have done with him in this game. So some big games to be played in the Premier League this weekend. We start with the lunchtime kickoff on Saturday at Stamford Bridge. And then the evening kickoff is Manchester City, who's in top form at the moment, at home to Arsenal. And then Sunday, Super Sunday, looks like this: Liverpool at Anfield against Tottenham. Monday Night Football, quite boring to be honest there, but some big games then today. Michael Oliver in charge of today's game at Stamford Bridge. That's going to be fun, but we do have a good record against Chelsea so far. I've just played the 1 game against them, which was that one back at Old Trafford, which finished 2-0. Let's pick the team. De Gea's in goal, Diogo Dalot. Let's bring in Luke Shaw. Want him playing at left back. Maybe we could bring in Ashley Young at right back for Dalot, but you know what, I'm going to continue with Dalot. Fellaini still wanting first team football. He's going to start for us today. As you know, Herrera is out for the next 5 weeks, pretty much 2 months. That's such a blow because he's been performing really well this season when starting in that midfield of three. Going forwards, Lukaku, Martial and Lingard. And again, just like that Arsenal game, we're going to go with a cautious mentality. We're playing away from home, a slightly lower tempo, and we're going to be working the ball into the box, which will have the players working hard and remaining patient not to force it instead of shooting on sight. I mainly pick shoot on sight when we're playing at home, when we've got that freedom. We're going to be regrouping, going to be countering, and we're going to be playing a standard defensive width and a defensive line as well with a standard pressing. So that is our team then for this game against Chelsea. It is a big one, more so for Chelsea than us. We are 4 points top. Obviously, if Spurs get the win against Liverpool tomorrow and we pick up a loss here, they've closed that gap to just a point. Looking at Chelsea's team then, Azpilicueta takes the captain's armband. Kepa starts in goal. They've got Zappacosta and Alonso as the two fullbacks. No doubt Martial and Lingard licking their lips at that, but it's a strong midfield of Fabregas, Kovacic and N'Golo Kante. And going forwards, they've got Willian, Pedro and Callum Wilson, who they've signed here in January. Well, in January, we're into February now, but you can see they signed him from Bournemouth for 49.5 million. That's a lot of money for Callum Wilson, if you ask me, and he's only made one appearance so far and hasn't scored a goal. But this is probably, I think this is his first game at Stamford Bridge, so it'll be interesting to see how he gets on. Here we go then. We're going to put on sounds, extended highlights, with it being such a big game, and we're going to get things underway then. And I think the match speed is fine. Whenever a goal goes in as well, the highlight will be in 3D. I'm not sure whether to switch to 3D at the moment for the full game. Alonso's ball into the box and Willian makes it 1-0. Wow, what a start for Chelsea. 25 seconds, I was going to say minutes then, 25 seconds into this and Chelsea already a goal to the good. Not the start we wanted. Alonso's first time cross. It's an early cross as well. Picks out Willian fantastically. Do they need Eden Hazard starting today? Wow, what a start for Chelsea. I was expecting them to be going all out for this game. They need to if they want to pull away from Man City and also close the gap on Liverpool. Here is Jesse Lingard now, finds Anthony Martial. It's 1-1. I think we have one hell of a game on our hands here today. There's going to be goals galore. 2 goals already scored. Under 10 minutes gone. Immense. Look at Jesse Lingard. Look at the amount of players Chelsea have in that penalty area, and not one of them is keeping an eye on Anthony Martial. Look at this. They've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. They even have N'Golo Kante and Kovacic in the box, but yet no one's keeping an eye on Martial. That is poor from Chelsea. But fantastic for United. It's 1-1 then. They've got a corner. Pogba with the header away. Jesse Lingard going to chase that ball down. Fabregas pips into it. And Zappacosta now. Back to Kepa. He's coming out some way, isn't he? Launches it forwards. Finds William Bay. He does start this game today. Could have been suspended for it if the FA Disciplinary Committee didn't rescind that ban. So happy about that. Here is Jesse Lingard now as Manchester United come forwards. Pogba goes for goal. Did have Martial out wide. Another corner for Chelsea then. Pedro swings it in. It's dangerous. It's Callum Wilson. He has scored against Manchester United. That is his first goal for Chelsea since signing on the dotted line in January. And it comes from a Pedro corner. What is Jesse Lingard doing? He's just standing there watching Wilson receive the ball, turn on it, and then strike and score with his left foot. It's 2-1 Chelsea. Quite an intense start here in this game against Chelsea. Here is Pedro now, allowed to run into the penalty area, forces a save from Davide Zappacosta. They are coming in from the flanks, so we're going to change our defensive width to wide. have a presence out wide there, just to try and plug that leak, if you will. Not much happening at the moment, which is quite surprising with the roller coaster of a start that we've had. And Martial, as soon as I say that, Martial steps up and gets his second goal of the game. It's 2-2. And what a time to score as well, right before the break. It comes from a set piece, from that free kick. Once again, Martial unmarked by any Chelsea player. And he makes them pay. It's 2-2. 4 goals within 45 minutes in this game. Dalot not doing the best. He's struggling. Got 6.2 rating so far in the first half here at Stamford Bridge. I'm not going to make the change. I could easily... Pogba's got free kick here. And that was close to making it 3-2. That was some way out as well. That's going to be the first half then, pretty much. Willian. One more attack from Chelsea. Alonso on the ball. Short pass to Pedro. Pedro gets his shot away. And there we go. It's half time then. It is a tremendous match so far. Matic has been impressive for breaking into the final third. We're going to be assertive. I'm far from pleased with what I've just seen. And I'm going to be calm with Dalot. And just say, the pressure's off today. I want you to go out there and play your natural game. Show a bit of faith in the youngster. He's not having the best of game. We know that. But I'll give him another 10, 15, 20 minutes to see if he can improve before we make a decision on whether we take him off, because I could easily bring on Ashley Young for Dalot. But let's see how he gets on at the start of the second half. Bailly, that's poor. Not sure what he was thinking there. Here's Kovacic now. And Dalot gets his body in the way. Well done. That's the beating of Pedro there. It's more like it. We'll be keeping an eye on that. Luke Shaw not having the best of games either at fullback. It's down to 6.4 rating. Coming up against Willian and Pedro, who seem to be going all out today. Willian already on the score sheet. Not much happening here in the second half. Throwing for Chelsea. Here is Conte. Kovacic to Alonso. And Jesse Lingard dispossesses Alonso. He could switch it here now to find Martial, but he's holding up. And he's lost the ball. That's poor. Jesse should be releasing Martial there. He was in plenty of space. We've got another free kick here. Pogba takes it, hits the wall. Pogba swings it in. Alonso in the way. I think we're really getting a grasp on this game now. Starting to knock Chelsea back a peg or two. They had a flying start to this game, but they seem to have petered out as we've kicked off for the second half. They haven't started as quick as they probably hoped for. Right then, let's bring on Youngie for Dalot. Did improve slightly, but not as quick as I'd hoped, as we've reached past the hour mark here. Zappacosta with the throw again. Christensen. Now if this was at Old Trafford, we'd be putting them under pressure, but we're going to be cautious. Marcos Alonso coming forwards. Matic closing him down. Forces the shot from him from some way out. He's never going to score from that range, especially against Davide Zappacosta, who hasn't really had much to do in the second half. Poor corner that from Lingard. Martial has a shot of his own, looking for that hat-trick, but it goes wide. We do seem to be having more shots on goal now. Zappacosta down to a 6.3. I'm thinking now, let's see if we can work on Zappacosta. Let's focus our play down the left-hand side. Let's get Martial at him a bit more. They'll probably take him off at some point. You watch. Fabregas. There's Christensen. Thought penalty was going to be given there. De Gea comes out, collects the ball. Sometimes it does happen, doesn't it? De Gea lumps it forward, looking for Martial. Martial's going to continue to chase it down. Picks it up. And almost got his hat-trick again. Forcing another top save from Kepa. Corner for United. Jesse Lingard. You just cannot take your eyes off this game at the moment. He's looking for the dominant Romelu Lukaku, who's been very quiet today. 6.6 from him. And there you go. They've took Zappacosta off. Didn't take long, did it? And they've replaced him with Gary Cahill. They've pushed Azpilicueta out as the full-back. And here is Martial getting Azpilicueta already. Martial going all the way. Crosses it in and finds Jesse Lingard, who makes it 3-2. Gets United in the lead for the first time in this game. Martial has had an absolutely whirlwind of a game. 2 goals, 1 assist. He's been in the thick of the action today, hasn't he? And what a goal from Jesse Lingard. Azpilicueta couldn't do anything about that run from Martial. Once he gets going, there's no stopping him. And Romelu Lukaku's just gone off to be replaced by Sanchez, and we're going to have him swapping roles with Martial just to mess with Azpilicueta a bit more. There's Lingard, Fellaini, Nemanja Matic back at Stamford Bridge today to Lindelof. Paul Pogba, just calm play from United. Sanchez, good ball to find Martial. Onto Luke Shaw, it's in, looking for Martial, looking to get that hat-trick. Luke Shaw again, not the best from Shaw, he was on his weaker side there. Shaw with the throw then, looking for Martial. It's out for Fellaini, back to Matic. They're trying their best to put us under pressure, but we're not caving. I like it, we're confident on the ball. And that's the end of the highlight. And just to run down the clock a bit more, I'm going to make one more change. I'm going to bring on Fred for Nemanja Matic. And that should see us through. How well has Matic been performing actually? 6.9. He is looking tired though. And it's only for a few more seconds. That should be it. Final whistle, ref, come on. Blow it. There we go. Another good, solid win for Manchester United against a top 6 side in the Premier League this season. We came into our own in that second half. We did really well to overturn this game. Chelsea, a quick start, 2 goals within 10-15 minutes. But that didn't faze us. We didn't crumble. We didn't make any knee-jerk reactions. And we just played our game. Played our natural game. And it's seen us through. We've got those 3 points. We've done the double over Chelsea this season. I'm going to go ahead and praise Anthony Martial, who was all over the action for United today. 2 goals, 1 assist. Was certainly my man of the match. There we go. Good reaction. So, look at this. Sam Allardyce is back at Selhurst Park. They have got rid of Roy Hodgson, and Sam Allardyce has come in to replace him. Is he going to do another stellar job there to help Crystal Palace survive the relegation in the Premier League? We'll be keeping an eye out on that. And as expected, good reaction on the social after that 3-2 win against Chelsea at Stamford Bridge. Very, very happy. Good performance all around. Saturday's games have all finished then. And look at that, Manchester City in inspired form at the moment. They've just beaten Arsenal 4-1 at the Etihad, which means they now move up to 5th after Chelsea lost to us at Stamford Bridge. They're just 4 points behind Arsenal now. It's an incredible turnaround. Super Sunday saw plenty of goals, especially at Anfield. Big game there. It finished 2-2 between Liverpool and Spurs, which is good news for us because we're now 6 points top after beating Chelsea at Stamford Bridge. So that's about it for this episode. I do hope you've all enjoyed. Make sure you don't miss the next one as we're away to Borussia Dortmund in the first leg of the Champions League knockout stages. I'll see you there. But for now, that's it. Thanks for watching.